everyone. My name is Kelsey Akers, and these are my teammates Mandy, Melissa, and Daniela. We're super excited to be here representing BCIT, and even more excited to present to you our idea of a new service that will increase off-season visitation in the Vancouver Coast and Mountains region. I'd like to start off by taking a moment to recognize that we're gathered on the traditional unceded territories of the Sioux people, and thank the West Bank First Nation for welcoming us to their territory. I'd like to introduce you to Hannah and Oscar. Hannah and Oscar are a couple in their 30s from Munich, Germany. When traveling, they really like to immerse themselves in the destination's culture. Imagine that they board a Harbour Air seaplane in downtown Vancouver. They soar over the Vancouver Coast and Mountains region and land on Seton Lake just outside of Lillooet, BC. As they exit the floatplane, they're surrounded by a traditional Indigenous welcoming ceremony put on by the Stapnik First Nation. From here, they board a van and are transferred through the forest to a traditional Indigenous site. They have a chance to explore the site and enter the pit house where they will be sleeping for the following 2 nights. Take a chance now to open the jars on your table, pass them around, and inhale the scent to fully experience how Hannah and Oscar feel at this time. The following days will be filled with hiking and walking through the land, exploring Seton Lake by traditional boat, preparing and enjoying traditional Indigenous meals with members of the community, and ending each night surrounding a campfire, singing, dancing, and drumming under the stars. Hannah and Oscar return to downtown Vancouver with a new sense of appreciation and respect for the Stapnik communities. The tour that Hannah and Oscar just took is called Lakes and Land Cultural Adventures. This name embodies the 2 specific communities that we will be partnering with, the Chalal, representing the lakes, and the Tipkiat, representing the land. Now that you know the basic idea of Lakes and Land Cultural Adventures, I'm going to pass this over to Melissa, who will explain our research that we use to back it all up.
Thanks, Kelsey. As a recent CBC article mentions, places like Victoria, Whistler, and Vancouver are currently facing over-tourism. As Marcia Walden describes, places like Victoria are feeling a crush of people in their downtown core during these prime tourist seasons. And the question is, how do we get these visitors to come to more remote areas? Well, LLCA solves that. Based off the most recent information off of their website, Lillooet only had about 29,000 visitors in 2014. This number is significantly low in comparison to Vancouver, which received over 8 million visitors that year. With the creation of LLCA, it will benefit both the Stapnik community and Lillooet, both economically and socially. Lillooet has set out strategies. They would like to offer visitors from around the world an authentic and engaging cultural, arts, and heritage experience, which LLCA plans to fully deliver on. With that, they've also set out tourism plan goals, which LLCA fully supports and will strive to help them achieve. And here we have Rodney Louie and Helen Copeland, and they are fully engaged with the District of Lillooet, the Stapnik community, and the Squamish Lillooet District Regional District. When we spoke with Rodney, he himself expressed interest in this idea and believes that it'll help with the creation of a new DMO and a new cultural center. And now we have Mandy to explain the target market.
So for our target market, we'll be marketing German leisure travelers and British Columbians. Over 75% of German leisure travelers travel to explore and immerse themselves in a destination's culture. According to Brendan Baptiste of Aboriginal Tourism BC, she states that we've always enjoyed a great deal of German people around First Nations. And with our secondary market being British Columbians, taking over 13 million domestic trips per year. We'll be focusing on the ages of 34 to 55 who fit the cultural explorer and authentic experiencer explorer quotients. According to Destination BC, these travelers will spend more money on a First Nations cultural experience and are focused on authentic, tangible engagements with a high historical value. And for potential markets for the future, we'll be marketing South Korea, United Kingdom, as well as Japan and Australia. Now, how are we going to create awareness for LLCA and be able to market our target? LLCA's goal is to increase awareness by 20% with these German leisure travelers in the planning stages of their trip. And this comes to around 40,000 people. If just 8% book a trip with LLCA, LLCA will book out for a full year. And how will this be done? This will be done by internet marketing. According to Destination BC, smartphones are the #1 used tools for German leisure travelers to book and research an international trip. And this utilizing their two most media platforms is Facebook and YouTube. And for social media influencers, it comes to Utilite Adventures, a worldwide travel media site, as well as Hans Becker, who is a travel German photographer, which both have a very large German following. For our sales promotion and public relations, we'll be offering a trip for 2 German travelers to enter onto our Facebook and website through the requirements you see below, where we're organically using those to gain more of the following. And for our call to action, it will read, "Embrace your cultural surroundings." And this will be posted on our Facebook and website and all media platforms with a direct link to the website and Facebook page with the hashtag LLC Adventures. With our partnerships, we'll be partnering up with Harbour Air, Destination BC, Destination Canada, Aboriginal Tourism BC, as well as the Indigenous Tourism Association of Canada, as well as German outbound tour operators, so we can gain a better connection with the German travelers. And here's Daniela to talk about our feasibility.
So our guests will be flying into Lillooet at Seton Lake through a seaplane through Harbour Air. In the case that weather prohibits flying, we're going to have our bus repositioned to Vancouver. In the Vancouver Coast and Mountains region, there is no direct competition of a multi-day, fully immersive cultural experience. There is, however, indirect competition of Indigenous guided tours offered by the Squamish Lillooet Cultural Centre, the Tukwim Interpretive Heritage Village, and Quiston Experiential Tours. This provides a unique value proposition for LLCA to take advantage of the gap in the market with a fully immersive Indigenous multicultural experience. Our tour is priced at $1,600. This is comparable to a 3-day Sundance horseback riding adventure tour priced at just under $1,200. That tour, however, does not include a floatplane experience, nor does it include an Indigenous cultural experience. In the first year, or before the first year of LLCA's operations, they will be applying for the Strategic Partnership Initiative funding from the government. With our 75% occupancy forecast, we will be breaking even in year 2 if we receive funding, and early in year 3 if we do not receive funding. Prior to booking a trip with LLCA, all guests will be required to sign waivers as well as purchase travel insurance. LLCA will also be purchasing third-party liability insurance as well. For the economic impact, LLCA will be creating approximately 85 new seasonal jobs, which can be seen on the screen here, to offer the residents of a stagnant community full-time employment during the time that LLCA is in operation. When LLCA is not in operation, they will have opportunities for employment through our partners as well. And originally, this idea that we've come up with was developed for the regional conference. We will be fully gifting this to the Stagnant Eco Resources, so they are the sole owners. The Stagnant Eco Resources will be hiring a full-time project coordinator to manage and oversee all operations of LLCA during the season. For the multiplier effect, the revenues earned from LLCA will not only go towards the business itself, but will go back into the community of Lillooet by purchasing food, supplies, and paying them for the wages of the stagnant community members. There's also going to be a portion of the tour cost donated to the LLCA Cares Fund, which fully supports the destination development of Lillooet by creating a destination marketing organization as well as a cultural center. And these right here are projections from years 1 to 5 of donations to the LLCA Cares Fund.
Lillooet developed the following in their tourism strategy. In 2025, Lillooet and area, together with the Stagnant Nation, offer travelers from around the world authentic and engaging cultural, arts, and heritage experiences. LLCA operates in full support towards this developed tourism sector in Lillooet. It really fills a gap in the market by fully immersing guests in the culture of the stagnant communities. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and we would be happy to take your questions now.
Turn it over to the judges for ask round of questions.
Great, well, congratulations. Very impressive. Loved the presentation, and congratulate you as well as I did on our group on not having to read from something, you having learnt your lines, you were passionate about it and everything. I was very interested in particular in your really pretty defined target market. being the German market, but you're absolutely right that that's the one that would bite. And then once you've done that, hopefully you can expand to others. And I like the fact that you had corporate responsibility on here as well. I was wondering whether you could comment on whether you were sort of expecting problems, that you've got a whole clause in this thing about how you'll escort people off the property if they're a problem, and any other of our presenters could also have a clause like that. Are you sort of expecting that there might be more trouble?
So when we were talking with Rodney, he repeatedly mentioned that it's really important to respect the traditions, and if for some chance that we do get a guest that is going to disrespect or not take things seriously, we don't want any part of that. So they will receive a partial reimbursement if maybe it's at the first part of the tour, but they will have to spend the rest of their time elsewhere in Lillooet, and they're welcome to travel back to Vancouver on the seaplane.
Thank you. That was a very polished presentation, and I think there's a lot of magic in the experience that you've been describing. I love to use influencer marketing too. If I can just ask you two questions. One is, how did you arrive at the branding for this company? What I understand the reinterpretation of the words lakes and lands, but was there another element that really told you this is the right way to position us in this marketplace? And the second is, have you run into any other business that has co-ed multifamily sleeping quarters, and how did that work out?
So for the name, like I mentioned at the start, we're partnering with two specific communities. So the Stapney communities are all over Lillooet and the area. There's 11 different communities. So the Chalal represents Seton and Anderson Lake. So that's their territory, and we have to partner with them to be able to land on the lake. And then the land is the Tikyat. They actually also have the pit house that we will be using initially. And then once we make some revenue, we'll be putting in a new pit house and expanding the tour. So obviously they have the Lillooet land as their territory, so we need to partner with them as well. So Lakes and Land Cultural Adventures, we thought we would give them part of the name just because we are using their land and their resources and everything. So that's the name we came up with. For sleeping quarters, you know what, we didn't actually look into that too much. We thought, just with the design, you can see in our appendix, we have the actual design from the community of the pit house. So we were thinking of putting beds all along the outside with curtains and stuff. So they do have some privacy, but we wanted to represent like the full traditional experience, which everyone is in the same pit house. So that's where we came with that.
Great job. And mine are more, one is a Captain Obvious one. Unfortunately, your phone number in your marketing materials is wrong. You've got a 1-800 and then 604. So please make sure you're clear in your messaging when it comes across that way. Secondly, you've got 2 days of an adventure and your food cost budget is $300, and I'm making the food. How do you come up with that number?
So the reason we allow for so much food cost per person is because we're locally sourcing all of this food. I think we mentioned in there the specific methods that we'll be using. So a lot of that is sockeye salmon caught on the Fraser River that runs through Lillooet. So we definitely want to give back to the community in every way we can. So we wanted to allow for that big budget just because we will be locally sourcing.
Great, well, thank you. And